Alright, very good. Let's get started. Let's see here. We need to orient ourselves a little bit. Alrighty. So, trying something different. Be streaming directly here to YouTube today. I picked a different parking spot than usual, so I have to figure exactly where I am. Should be close to the threshold to runway 30, right? So today we are in a Piper Comanche 250. So this is a bit of a different aircraft than what we've been flying, but simulated extremely well. So it'll be fun to do a full-on flight down to the T. By the book, as they would say. Alright, so first things first, let's take that off and let's get our configuration tablet up over here, which has our, there we go, flight info and checklist. So our flight today will be from Broomfield, Colorado to Cheyenne, Wyoming. And the thing is, over there is pretty windy. Not too bad over here. Not great either, but it'll be fun. Nice challenge. Alright, we'll start with the pre-flight. We have a walk around on the iPad there, which will be pretty fun. It's an interactive experience here. So first things first, in the cockpit, we're just going to make sure no circuit breakers are out, or anything that could be put away is not put away. Alright, with that, let's go ahead and turn on the master switch. Check our fuel. So we have good full fuel there. With that, let's go ahead and also turn on the rotating beacon light. Actually, we'll go ahead and turn on all our light. Oops, that's the fuel pump. Turn that off. Whoops. And strobe lights there. Alright, cool. So when we do the walk around, we'll also check and make sure that the lights are working. Parking brake is on and enabled. And flaps down. Alright. Let's pop outside and see what we got. That's going to be kind of a bit of a funny angle. I mean, right now I feel like I'm floating at 90 degrees, so bear with me. But let's see here. I'll just make sure. That sounds pretty rigid. Everything's secure. Flaps aren't supposed to move. Ailerons, however, we'll see if they do move. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's a little aggressive. Don't want to do it that aggressive. We just want to make sure we have full movement there. Turn around here, and we have the tip fuel tank, and we can see it's full of fuel there. So let's go ahead and there we go. Put the cap back in, secure, and let's close the lid there and secure. Alright, great. On to the next step down here. We'll sump the tank. See, since it's been sitting out overnight, you can barely see it, but the nav light should be on. And you see the strobe lights down here underneath. And let's make sure there's no water in here. Which, thankfully, doesn't look like there's any water. There you go. Mouse again is stuck. There we go. Alright, great. So we sumped the tanks and moving on. Landing light looks good. Let's get the wing tie down off. Come over here and let's check the. Oh, I think I skipped one because I should be able to get the wheel chocks. Oh, maybe it is the next one. Alright, well, we'll check the wing fuel tank now instead of the tip fuel tank as we checked before. This should also be full. We can see the blue fluid of the fuel almost all the way up to the top. So fly with full tanks, which should be well under full maximum takeoff weight. So we'll be fine. Here we go. Wheel chocks, as I was mentioning before. We can see the strobe lights are working. Everything's good. For some reason, this one never works for me, but I've tried it a few times. It's another fuel check in the sump. It's great. somehow don't get that one working. I'll chalk it up to user error. But I know it is functional. That being said, oil check, that's going to be important. We'll go ahead and get that. And we'll also pull up the maintenance over here on our tablet. And see, here's our engine. Barely see it, but it looks like it's between the 9 and the 12, so it should be about, yep, 10.7 quarts. Very good. Alright. And the viscosity looks good. Doesn't look like some thick, gunky oil either, so we'll chalk that up as a success and continue our walk around. Oh, next tank. These views do leave a lot to be desired when you're in VR. So, mind you, if anyone's getting motion sickness, we'll probably skip forward to when we're actually in the cockpit. Shouldn't be long. Full fuel again there. Go ahead and close that. Good, both secure. And basically just do the same thing we just did before, but now on the other side, as we take off the wheel chocks on the left wing. And this time, the tie down and the pitot tube cover. That way we can actually get some accurate airspeed readings when we're up there. This looks good. And again, fuel tank for the tip. Tank. That looks good. Wingtip, fuel tank, good. Alright, lights are also good. Let's see, this one works, I think. As we can see, no water is accumulated underneath the fuel. Since water and fuel have different viscosities, you can tell them apart when they separate at the bottom of your fuel test jar. Ailerons look good there. Alright, let's check the security of the flaps. Those are good too. Excuse me. Alright, what do we have over here? Static port. Static port looks good. Unobstructed, excuse me. Well, looks like I forgot the tail rudder tie down last time, so that's good that it's already off. Elevator looks like it's free and correct. That's good. And let's check the rudder. Rudder has movement too. Free and correct. Alright. The other static port. The luggage, which I will not be loading in. And we're back in here. Which then I had to reorient the seat, I guess. Alright, with that, let's go ahead and turn the master switch off for now. As well as all the lights that we just had. Okay, cool. So, pre-flight is complete there. And then let's go ahead to maintenance page and airframe. Final inspection. Cool, all green. I like it. Alright, back to flight info and back to the before engine start checklist. So we completed a pre-flight briefing. Pre-flight. Passengers have been briefed because that's just me. Seatbelts, let's assume they're secure. Because they are. No assumptions. Control locks have been removed. Parking brake is set. Gear switch is down. Flaps. Let's go ahead and pull them up then. Alright, typically I would have them down. At least a Cessna, I think, but alright. Master switch back off, and flaps are up. Radio's off. Confirmed. Autopilot master is off. Avionics master is also off. So are all electrical switches. Circuit breakers are already confirmed in, and rotating beacon on. Alright, that completes that checklist. Now we're on to engine start. Fuel selectors, desired tanks. We have the both main tanks selected. Mixture is going to be full rich. Throttle is going to be cracked. Let's see. Right about there. Prop full forward. Carb heat off. Master switch back on now. Fuel pump on. Let's see. Oh no, sorry. Fuel pump off. No, on. Fuel pressure check, then fuel pump off. Alright, fuel pressure is right here. There it goes. Alright, good fuel pressure. Fuel pump back off, and primer. Let's go ahead and do that. Unlock, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, very good. Mags on both. Alright, let's open the window. This guy's gonna stand there when I start the prop. Oh, you can't really do much with the Microsoft AI. Sir, please move. Clear prop area. Normally you would yell that, but I don't feel like yelling. Clear prop! Sick. Gotcha. Alright. Alright, and starter engage. So let's get our feet on the brakes, oil pressure, we're ready to check that, and mixture lean as required. Since we're up at altitude, we'll probably just go ahead and lean it an inch right now. Right about there. Alright, feet on the brakes. Starter engage. There it goes. Alright, let's try to get it settled at 1,000 RPM over here. Alright, good. Engine start. And we'll start checking our gauges. We have good oil pressure, fuel pressure's good. We'll start letting it warm up. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get our avionics on. Alright, so this must be a different key bind than I thought, because that didn't come on when I pressed it. There we go. Alright, also this has simulated drift, so we're gonna have to correct this. Let's see here. Looks like we're facing almost exactly heading of 120. Well, that takes a while. It's a very slow scroll. Just twisting that knob. One day now. Any day now. Alright, it is leaning a little bit more towards the east. So about, we'll split the difference there between there. Alright, let's go ahead and get this set up with our flight today. Once this gets going, we'll program the RNAV approach to runway 27 as well. That should be fun. A little bit of practice. Get some instrument training in today, huh? Why not? Alright, let's get our altimeter on ALT. Alright, let's see what else we gotta do. Well, I guess we can refer to our checklist. Alright, ammeter. Let's see, where is that? That's good, 23 amps. Radios are on. Transponder as required. Altimeter will set as we check the ATIS. Alright, let's set our heading to 300, which will be our roughly our takeoff course. This is still working, but what we do know is, well, COM2's already set, so let's just go there.
Jeffco Airport information, Golf 1800 Zulu. Wind 162 at 1 tree. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 9er. Dew point 10. Altimeter tree 0.06. Visual runway 12 left and visual runway 12 right in use. Landing and departing runway 12 left and runway 12 right. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have golf. Jeffco Airport Information Hotel 1800.
Well, how about that? We're taking off runway 12, probably, well, left or right, but that's a long taxi. So we gotta go ways away. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. That being said, we got that. Our altimeter is 3006. Not a fan of these little pop-ups sometimes. Alright, 2, 4, and 2, 2, 2, 2. Oh, that's 8. One more click. Can't see because that label keeps popping up and blocking the actual Colesman window there. Anyways, no matter. We got that set. Let's look at our flight plan over here. Before we call up ground. Let's see what else we got. That's good. Nav lights as required. Parking brake release and brakes on initial roll. Alright, so before we call up for taxi, we'll just make sure everything else is set. And nope, didn't fill the tanks after startup, so that's good. Not needed. Alright, continuing on down here. Go ahead and get our landing lights on. And nav lights as required. I know it's broad daylight out, but you can never be too visible. Oh, well, that's so much easier. Oh, and let's get the headphones on. Wow, how about that? I can hear myself think again. Okay, cool. What we're gonna do here. We're gonna select an approach. And we're going to do RNAV. Runway 27. Yep. That should be it. Alright, let's see what we got down here. I had the chart pulled up. I suppose my initial fix could be Cola. Don't see that one on there. Vectors. Oh, there's Cola. Alright, yeah. Oh, Crim's actually. I'm coming from the south. Alright, cool. So this is basically gonna make things a little bit easier. Load or activate. Well, let's just load, right? There we go. KBJC to Crims. Cola, horse. Alright. Before we take off, then I guess I suppose I should familiarize myself. RNAV GPS runway 27 approach into Cheyenne, Wyoming. Alright, we have the information for ATIS and approach. Not sure the sim gets that all down. We'll practice it though. Alright, initial approach is initial approach fix is Crims at 7,800. Heading up 355. Then we'll approach Cola. Cola, we have a holding pattern, 6 nautical miles. We'll skip that. We'll just go ahead and turn left, heading up 266, down to Horse, 7,800, continuing 266, or 265, excuse me, to the runway. Alright. Fairly simple. We're just going to kind of do a abridged version of it. Alright. Last but not least, we'll do the strobe light at the run-up area. Okay, cool. So, let's go ahead and call up ground. We have 121.7 selected, and we are departing north.
Detroit Metro Ground Piper November 6229er Papa ready to taxi departure to the north with hotel.
Piper November 6229er Papa taxi to and hold short of runway 12 left via taxiway Lima Echo Cross runway Tree Alpha. Contact tower on 118.6 when ready.
Taxi and hold short runway 12 left. Alright. Sometimes the keybinds I have just don't work for the
Taxi
ATC.
and hold short runway 12 left via taxiway Lima Echo Cross runway Tree Alpha Piper 29er Papa.
Cross runway 3 Alpha. Alright, cool. Runway 3 does bisect where we're gonna go, so that should be fun. And all those taxiways are completely made up compared to the real ones, so that always throws me for a loop. Because most of that would be taxiing via, well, via Alpha, really. Alright, here we go. Let's do a quick brake check. Brakes work. Alright, release the brakes and let's get moving. Clear left and clear right. Alright. And we're taxiing out of the Shelter parking lot. And well, these taxiways are a little borked, but that's okay. Let's pretend they're not. Alrighty. Clear right and clear left, and here we go, transitioning onto what would be taxiway Alpha in real life. It is, I'm pretty sure, something made up entirely else in the sim, which was a little confusing, but all the same. 12 left, down this way. We'll try to keep our taxi speed, our RPM at around 1,000 RPM there. And now we're approaching runway 30 right.
Cessna Kilo Oscar Whiskey 9er Tree 9er pushback request accepted.
They gave us clearance to go ahead and cross it. Oh, are these taxi signs out in the middle of the taxiway? That's not there in real life. Okay, before we cross in this convoluted mess of signs here, clear right and clear left. I don't want to hit those. I don't know if those are actual objects there. Oh, connection lost. That's too bad. Oh, wait. Well, guess we'll see. Let's see. How's the stream?
Detroit Metro Ground Cessna Kilo Oscar Whiskey 9er Tree 9er requesting the end of pushback.
Cessna Kilo Oscar Whiskey 9er Tree 9er request to end pushback received.
No one saw that. Switch to offline mode.
Detroit Metro Ground Cessna Kilo Oscar Whiskey 9er Tree 9er with hotel ready to taxi IFR. Cessna Kilo Oscar Whiskey 9er Tree 9er taxi to and hold short of runway 12 left using taxiway Lima Echo Cross runway Tree Alpha. Contact tower on 118.6 when ready. and hold short runway 12 left using taxiway Lima Echo Cross runway Tree Alpha Cessna 9er Tree 9er.
Alright, finally we're at the run-up area. Alright, let's go ahead and turn over in here. The downside to low-wing airplane is I'm not really sure. Don't want to risk hitting those things and finding out they do have like collision models or whatever. Those aren't there in real life either. Unless they've been added. I don't know about, but pretty sure they're not there. Excuse me. Alright, let's go ahead and pull up to the line. There we go.
Detroit Metro Ground Dahra November 9er Tree 0 Papa Whiskey requesting pushback.
Alright, let's apply the brakes.
November 9er Tree 0 Papa Whiskey pushback request accepted.
Parking brake enabled. Alright, cool. Let's go back to our checklist over here. And let's get to the run-up area. Alright, we'll position ourselves into the wind, which I guess somewhat did. Brakes hold, fuel quantity checked, that's good. We have the desired tanks checked, mixtures as required. Pretty good there. I mean, we're in a low idle setting right now, so can't really tell. Let's go ahead and throttle up to 2,000 RPM.
Detroit Metro Ground Dahra November 9er Tree 0 Papa Whiskey requesting the end of pushback. Dahra November 9er Tree 0 Papa Whiskey request to end pushback received.
Alright, 2,000 RPM. Okay, everything is still reading good.
Detroit
Cylinder
Metro
head's
Ground Dahra
good.
November 9er Tree 0 Papa Whiskey with hotel ready to taxi IFR. Dahra November 9er Tree 0 Papa Whiskey taxi to and hold short of runway 12 left via taxi.
T's and P's are good. Alright, let's do a mag check. So we'll switch the mag to left and see how much it drops. 90 RPM. At 120, difference of 30. Difference of 20, 10 at max. No, 20. Alright, back to boat. Back to 2,000. Alright. Prop cycle times 3, then reduce to 1,800 RPM and check steady. Alright, and 1,800 RPM, right there. Oh, bouncing around a little bit. There we go. Holding pretty steady. Alright, let's check carb heat. That's good. Alright, carb heat back in. And let's go back to the before takeoff list. Alright, controls free and correct, so we'll check. Ailerons good, ailerons are good. Pull forward, and there we go. Kick the rudders. Alright, flight controls free and correct. Elevator trim neutral, rudder as needed, which will go about a few clicks over to the right. Doors are latched. Flaps as desired. Fuel selectors on. Desired. Fuel pump on. Prop full forward. We can't go mixture full rich because we're at altitude. Carb heat off, engine gauges checked, heat as required, strobes on, landing lights as required. Alright, cool.
Detroit Metro Tower, Cessna Kilo Oscar Whiskey 9er Tree 9er ready for IFR departure runway 12 left. Cessna Kilo Oscar Whiskey 9er Tree 9er altimeter tree 0.06, wind 162 at 1 tree. Cleared for takeoff runway 12 left.
Alright, parking brake released, strobes on, and let's go ahead and taxi up to the hold short line.
Cleared for takeoff runway 12 left, Cessna Kilo Oscar Whiskey 9er Tree 9er.
And be something like Metro Tower, Piper 6229er Papa, holding short runway 12 left, ready for takeoff VFR to the north. And let's see what the sim version of that sounds like.
Detroit Metro Tower Piper, November 6229er Papa ready at runway 12 left north departure.
Piper November 6229er Papa, line up and wait.
Line up and wait. Alright, Piper 29er.
Line up and wait, Piper 29er Papa.
Piper 29er Papa.
Cessna 9er Tree 9er, contact Denver Center on 125.905. Good day. Cessna 9er Tree 9er. Goodbye. Piper November 6229er Papa, wind 162 at 1 tree. Departure to the north approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 12 left.
Clear for takeoff 12 left. Northbound departure approved. 902 Papa. 29er Papa. Let's see if they say that. Why don't my buttons not work? There we
Cleared
go.
for takeoff
All right.
runway 12 left.
Do it
Piper
manually.
29er Papa.
Alright, let's apply full power. RPM's good. Fuel flow's good. Pressure's good. Alright, I'm happy. Release the brakes. Alright, a little more right rudder.
Detroit Metro Tower Docker November 9er Tree 0 Papa Whiskey at runway 12 left ready for departure.
Airspeed's alive. Oh, too much right rudder there.
November 9er Tree 0 Papa Whiskey, line up and wait.
80 knots, and we can rotate already. Look at that. Alright, gear up. Alright, let's keep runway heading. Oh, we are getting
Line up and wait, Docker 0 Papa Whiskey.
blown just a little off course there, so that's not ideal. Go ahead and keep it right over the runway. Get the nose down a little bit more. We can trim that out. Alright. And let's go ahead and turn north now.
Piper 29er Papa, continue for north departure.
Detroit Metro Tower Piper, November 6229er Papa, continue for north departure.
That time it worked.
Docker November 9er Tree 0 Papa Whiskey, altimeter tree 0.06, wind 162 at 1 tree. Cleared for takeoff runway 12 left. Exit 4 tree 1 heavy, follow the aircraft on final.
Alright, we'll climb to 7,800 and level off over there.
Runway 12 left. Cleared to land runway 12 left, exit 4 tree 1 heavy.
text, and fly, people. Alright, 7,200. $7,500. Alright, so we'll start pulling the power back. Let's get into a nice, comfortable cruise. Still need to keep climbing. Didn't want to pull the power back that much. Just wanted to kind of arrest the ascent. There we go.
Piper 29er Papa leading my airspace frequency change approved.
Alright, frequency change approved. See ya. Alright, but just slipped right past 7,800. Had a little nose down trim, not too much there. Alright, let's try to acknowledge that now.
Detroit Metro Tower Piper November 622 9er Papa frequency change.
Well, either I keep catching up drafts or my trim is a little off here today. Let's see. Alright, now that we left the airspace, we can turn more towards following this beautiful magenta line that will guide us to where we want to go. Alright, let's pull the power back a little more then. Let's see if we can bring it back to 1,900 RPM. And we'll go ahead and line up here. Alright, we'll keep our course line matched. Still ascending. Alright, let's see. There we go, 8,000 right about. Nope. Flew right past, but beautiful day though. If it weren't so drafty. I have a lot of nose down trim and I'm still flying up.
Generic 7 Charlie Alpha, follow the generic on final. Wind 131 at 8. Caution the Airbus A20M landing runway 12 left. Clear to land runway 12 right. Exit 431 heavy, follow the Airbus A20N on final. Wind 131 at 8. Caution the generic landing runway 12 right. Clear to land runway 12 left.
Alright, and then what we'll do is go ahead and make sure we get the frequency set up.
Exit 431 heavy.
Still can't see. Just a slight bother. Alright, alright. Well, there's supposed to be an autopilot, but I don't really trust it in this aircraft just yet. Never flew with autopilot during my training, but let's see. Yeah, I don't think it will hold with 5,000 feet or 500 feet climb. It puts me still at 8,300, which is just dandy. This thing just wants to climb today, which is great in, you know, every other case, but let's see if we can get the autopilot to hold. I don't even know if it engaged. Well, again, I don't really trust autopilot. I'd rather trim it right. Well, maybe a little too much right rudder left from the takeoff. Nope, let's take that out. You know what I forgot to do? Let's go ahead and set up the data fields so we can see what's going on. There we go. Alright, 15 miles. Huh? Nope, I read that wrong. 51 nautical miles. That's the first one. DTK. Alright, so we're on a track of 015 to Crims. Or approach. There we go. RNAV 27. Oh, did the autopilot engage, or is my trim just that good? I find it hard to believe. Because now I'm descending. Alright. It is a gorgeous day out there, that's for sure. Good practice. Not quite sure, but I think we just passed Longmont. Not too far, but where I usually wasn't in practice, but changing it up today. Going to Cheyenne to do something a little different. Nice, some actual IMC. As we graze through the bottom of a little misty cloud there. If anyone from the FAA is watching, that didn't happen. Let's get the cabin heat going. I didn't realize it was 34 degrees in here. That being said, it'd probably be a good idea. Let's go ahead and turn on the pitot heat as well.
Generic 7 Charlie Alpha, turn next taxiway.
And let's just finished getting set up for the radios that we need here. 134.425 for the ATIS.
Generic 7 Charlie Alpha, turn next taxiway.
They should be. There we go.
Cheyenne Airport information, Mike 1800 Zulu. Wind 276 at 17.
That's not
Visibility
too bad,
10.
actually.
Sky condition, no clouds below 12,000. Temperature 7. Dew point 10. Altimeter tree 0.0 tree. ILS runway 27 in use. Landing and departing runway 27. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have Mike.
Mike, alright. Not too bad. Alright, and tower is on 118.7. Let me get myself lined back up over here.
Generic 7 Charlie Alpha, turn next taxiway.
Alright, but we're still a little ways away. We'll pull back a little bit more into power, down to about 17 RPM there. Alright, and get us back down to 7,800. Alright, there we go. Let's see what this message is too. Oops. I gotta get a new mouse. This thing keeps double clicking everything. at this speed, we're about 10 minutes now from our arrival. Let's get back on the magenta line, so we'll fight for that. Looks like a two-day vlog in there. Interestingly enough. Double check where it even pulled that from. Well, there we go. 7.5 minutes to the next waypoint. Alright, since we're getting pretty close to the airport, let's see if we can pull it up here. Seemingly not close enough. Alright, well, scratch that. Oh, they're still about 26 nautical miles away total. Alright, not terrible. This is how the border of Colorado and Wyoming looks, maybe. Just a very drastic line. Alright, well, on the plus side, we got the GPS working for this little screen here, so that's good. And just under 4 minutes to go. Fuel pump verified off. Whoops. And then turn it back on for the approach. Gotcha. Oh, I'm way off course now. Always pay attention to your course needles, folks. Alright, almost 20 miles away. Let's see. I'll do Cheyenne approach instead then, I guess. Full stop line.
Cheyenne Tower Piper November 6229er Papa is 20 miles southeast 7,900 feet with Mike to land.
Piper November 6229er Papa Cheyenne Tower. Altimeter tree 0.02 wind 282 at 25. Make straight in runway 27.
Make straight in runway 27 Piper 29er Papa.
Alright, even though it says make straight in, we're just going to go ahead and try as best as we can to, let's see, whoops, that was the battle bull in there. To follow the actual instrument approach. Alright, let's pull that back up. 7,800. And then, let's see what we got here. Well, the good news is 7,800 all the way to Horace. And then Cheyenne should be off my left over there. There, I see it. Oddly enough, I don't think it continued. Not sure how this is supposed to go, but let's pretend it's the way it's supposed to be. This is fine. Everything's fine. Let's go ahead and skip a step and just go ahead and make this one active. Alright, and let's do 265. Fuel pump on. Prop pull forward. And we'll pull the throttle back then. Alright, we won't go full prop just yet. Still have a ways to go. Let's try to hold it at 7,800 until we get to Horse. Oh, look at everything just popping in to view. Just gotta love graphics sometimes. So I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be much more of an airport there. A lot of other sights and beautiful scenery, but not for us, I guess. Alright, now that we're getting into the approach path, we're about 5 miles away. Let's go ahead, prop full forward, as they say. Now, try to get the sun in here. Actually, we gotta bleed off more speed first. Right, 2.5 nautical miles away. Let's go ahead and go gear down. One set of flaps. Now we'll go full prop. And keep working my way over for center line. Actually, probably dirtied up way too far out. Oh well. What are we gonna do about it? Alright, let's go up flaps 1. Back to no flaps. A little more nose up trim. See if we can hold it level. And still correct over to the right so we can get those needles to line up there. Alright, let's see if it automatically takes me to the next waypoint. Oh, it does. Beautiful. Alright. Alright, our approach speed is pretty good. We're at 90 miles per hour right now. And let's keep the nose up trim a little bit there. Actually, let's go ahead and now put flaps back in. Alright. AOA is getting a little high, so we'll add some power back. And get that speed back to 90, maybe 95 if we can.
Piper 29er, Papa Wind 282 at 25. Clear to land runway 27.
Clear to land runway 27, Piper 29er, Papa.
Clear to land runway 27 Piper 29er Papa.
Alright, so the wind's not straight down the runway. Coming from 282, which is a little bit off our right quarter there. So we'll have to correct for some of the wind here. Alright, approach speed's still feeling pretty good here at 90, 95. Right in between there. A little more right aileron and a little more left rudder. And where we can get a little crosswind correction going here. Oh, I said left rudder. I know I need right rudder. Well, I guess theoretically I will need left rudder when we correct it there at the end. Alright, now we're getting pretty close. Let's go flaps 2. Steady, and I like it, so we'll go flaps 3. Alright, flaps fully in. They just mirror 2 towers at this airport. Seems excessive. What will I know? Alright, I feel like we got the runway made. We'll keep a little bit of power in with these low wings. They do drop like a rock as soon as you pull the power out. Looks like we got 3 red and 1 white. Not bad. Here we go. Crossing the threshold. Alright, and there's our aiming point. First stripe. Start our round out. And here we go. A little bit of a float. Alright. Flaps up. And nice. An easy landing. So I'll just go ahead and taxi off right here.
Piper 29er, Papa, contact ground on 121.9er.
Ground on 121.9er. Oh, you know what? I'll just do it this way.
Going to 121.9er Piper 29er Papa.
Oh, whoop. Almost missed my whole point. There we go. Let's go here. Let's alright, we got ground tuned up. Alright, let's go. Where's my menu? There it is. Request taxi to parking.
Cheyenne Ground Piper November 6229er Papa taxi to parking.
Piper November 6229er Papa taxi to general aviation parking using taxiway Alpha cross runway tree 1 Charlie.
Taxiway Alpha cross runway 31 Charlie.
Taxiing to general aviation parking via taxiway Alpha Cross runway 31 Charlie Piper 29er Papa.
Again, all these are just completely made up taxiways, and I have no idea where they actually want me to go. So I'm gonna improvise. How about that? And that probably answers the question that I've been asking myself if I wanted to buy, which is ridiculous that you have to pay, get a payware upgrade just to get the real taxis, but it might make immersion a little bit easier. That being said, even just taxiway markers would be nice. Yeah, there are definitely 2 towers here. Wonder if it's like that in real life. I don't know. Well, anywho, let's see if we can find ourselves some parking. Ah, yes, a random light in the middle of the taxiway. Beautiful. This runway 31 Charlie. You see the windsock. I am on taxiway Alpha. How about that? And runway 31 Charlie. We'll just cross right over. It's clear on the left. Clear on the right. Let's gun it a little bit. Alright, let's go and park in here then, Looks like there's fuel over there, so this looks as good as a parking spot as any. Right next to all the cars. Ooh, a little long there on the turn. There you are. Oh, you know what? Let's just pretend that we meant to park here all along. Alright. Okay, first things first for the shutdown checklist. What do we got? Parking brake set. There we go. Alright, parking brake set. Radio's off. And transponder's off. Avionics master off. What's the autopilot master button? Master switch off. Now let's go ahead and turn the fuel pump off. Auto closed and mixture on auto cutoff. Turn the nav light off, which this one is such a fun button to have to deal with. Wonder if it twists that slow in real life. I don't know. Never flown one of these. So, never know. Alright, flaps are up. Let's go ahead and turn the cabin heat off. Let's make sure that's all the way in. Let's see. That's off. Mag's off. Good. There we go. That's what I want to do. Let's put the control lock back on. Nice. Alright. And then we'll just do it the simple way from here. Put the wheel chocks, the tie down. the pitot door cover, pitot cover, thank you, and then open the cabin door. All right, and then we would exit. Let's do that. And away. Look at that. What a flight. What a beautiful moment. Anyways, thanks for tuning in for that little bit of a test flight, if you will, with the Piper Comanche. Hope you guys enjoyed, and tune in next time.